Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Xenonauts 2, a game which obviously we're no strangers to here on the channel. We ran a full 52 episodes in the early access build, but alas, that build, as fun as it was inherently unbeatable, though I do like to still imagine that the Raiders, through their efforts and given how much they were curb stomping the aliens by the end, I like to imagine they still won, that they just did so well that the aliens just decided to pack it up and go home. But alas, those pesky Xenos have launched once more. And this time they're not so keen to give up quite as easily. But does that mean that we're going to let them come and take our planet? I think Xeno not. I've got a few dozen raiders on tap ready to help me push back the tide, including a few familiar faces. Thanks for your support, guys. Though, of course, although the Raiders will always take priority when it comes to placement in these series, rank-and-file viewers are free to sign up as well. There's every chance in the world that this thing might turn into enough of a meat grinder to actually get a few non-Raiders in the mix. Especially since this time we're going to go all out. We're going to crank it up to the max. Mostly. We'll talk about that momentarily. And then, as far as tone goes, honestly, I think we're going to play it pretty straight. Although we will be retreading some familiar ground. I hear that they've actually revised a lot of what was there and added a lot of new stuff we haven't seen before, so I'll be curious to see it play out as intended, as opposed to trying to, staple my own narrative on top. And, kind of try to stay focused on keeping the Raiders alive. Good luck with that, I guess. That's a full-time job in and of itself. That said, let's get this shindig started, shall we? Teach these invaders that Xeno means no. Right, yeah, and difficulty. I said we were going to loop back around on this. As I recall, back in early access, we played on Veteran, pretty much, except we had turned the health bars back on. Because, I said it back then, and I'm going to say it again right now. I don't feel like disabling basic parts of the UI or information feedback is fair or fun. I don't like that it's tied to the tiered difficulty system. I'm fine with everything else that comes with being on Commander difficulty. The reduced funding, the 0% base soldier survival chance. Especially since you can still bump that up with other things like medbays and medical research. But not being told basic stuff like what kind of condition the people you're shooting at are in, I don't like that, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn that back on. We won't be in true commander mode, I guess, but we'll be there in spirit. And just for the sake of pacing, I'm going to turn auto-resolve back on for air combat as well. We'll still manually do it every so often, but, we don't need to see it every single time. It's just a time sink after a certain point, so, we'll save ourselves the headache. As for the tutorial, we will keep it enabled since it does some pretty basic narrative setup for the rest of the campaign, but we'll try to push through it pretty quick. Here we go.
The year is 2009. The world teeters on the brink of nuclear war. Tensions between capitalist and communist nations are at boiling point. Every opportunity for peace has failed, as if an invisible hand inexorably steers humanity towards annihilation. We Xenonauts know the truth. The dark forces poisoning our politics are not human in origin, and we must protect our planet against this extraterrestrial threat however we can. After years spent gathering information on an enemy that few believe exists, we are finally ready to strike back. The war for our future begins now.
Indeed. 2009. I miss being in my 20s. I'll refrain from commenting on anything else. And welcome to Xenonauts 2. I am going to run through these, but I'm not going to bother stopping to read them. Generally speaking, we'll just do whatever they say and move on. but they are there for anyone who's unfamiliar with how the mechanics in this game work. My work on our radar array is now complete. Theoretically, Atlas Space should now be capable of tracking any alien UFOs within our radar range. Thank God. It wasn't exactly easy to borrow all those things you wanted. What happens now? We wait. An alien craft should pass in the next few days. At that point, the General takes over. Assuming he has returned from his expedition. Don't worry, he'll be back in a few days. Until then, the Commander should be perfectly capable of filling in. That's me! I am the eponymous Commander. Who I do believe they have now turned into a mute protagonist. Back in early access, that was actually a point of contention for some players, that they had given the Commander some actual voice lines, or dialogue lines rather, none of it's voiced. And we've got our first UFO interception. Though of course they keep things pretty tightly on rails for the tutorial. We're entering engagement range of the extraterrestrial craft, Commander. Putting it up on the big screen. How do we think this is going to play out? Unknown. We have no data on the capabilities of these alien craft, or what weaponry they may carry. I suppose there's only one way to find out. Let's start by attacking with missiles. Right. Pretty straightforward. Looks pretty similar to what we recall from early access. Though, unsurprisingly, they are keeping us, again, very tightly on rails. Otherwise, normally I'd attack from two completely opposite angles, rather than flying Angel 1 straight into its firing arc. Also, they're having us steer Angel 2 off to the side, which isn't really necessary. Angel 1 is closer. The scout would automatically turn towards it, which would allow Angel 2 to immediately move in behind and start hammering it. But I suspect someone's about to get tutorialed to death. Classic part of the XCOM experience. The missiles flew straight past. What happened? They appear incapable of locking onto the UFO. It has no radar signature and is emitting minimal heat. Better close the distance. We'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. Angel 2, you want to tag in here? You've got a free and open shot on this guy. No? Alright, that's cool. I'm sure Angel 1 will be fine. No, Angel 1! Who could have foreseen this sudden but inevitable winging? It's fine, though. They're with the Angels now. Angel 2, moving in. Better late than never, I suppose. Oh. Okay, yeah, we're fine. Nice job, Commander. Indeed. Was it? We must locate and recover the downed alien vessel as soon as possible. In the meantime, I'll see what I can learn from the telemetry. I may be able to enhance the survivability of our interceptors now that we've collected some basic data on the alien weapons. Huzzah! Interception successful. And I mean, it is also worth noting that if these were actually our starting planes, which they're not, Angel 1 would have actually survived that. Back in early access, a destroyed aircraft was destroyed, but now it just triggers like a repair cooldown. They're recovered and rebuilt. It just knocks them out of commission for a while. Obviously less than ideal under normal circumstances. Come on back. And there's our first mission. UFO crash site. Though I don't think we actually get to go on that. Unless things have really changed since EA. Nope. Hold the launch, Commander. We're picking up a friendly signal. The General is back. Fortuitous timing. I'm not so sure about that. There's a convoy of trucks heading our way. Those appear to be cleaner vehicles. It seems highly improbable that the General would ever voluntarily join forces with them. Exactly. Commander, put your men on alert and deploy them to the entry tunnel. Something's definitely wrong here. And ground combat tutorial. I don't think too much has changed here. Basic camera controls. We've still got the same old time unit system. Yeah. Nothing too jarring. Welcome back to Atlas, General. How did the meeting go? Can't help but notice you've made some new friends. The Xenonauts project has been terminated, Director. Lay down your weapons. There's no need for this to turn ugly. Earth is under attack, General. You know that. We're not going to surrender our planet without a fight. Director, you're making a mistake. There is no extraterrestrial threat. Open the blast doors and surrender, or your people are going to get killed. No extraterrestrial threat? What happened to you, General? Director, this isn't a discussion. I'm giving you 5 minutes to make a decision. You're outnumbered, and there's nowhere to run. Think carefully about your choice. Over and out. If we surrender, what's the probability we turn up dead a week from now? Based on everything we know about the cleaners? Approximately 100%. Yeah, that's what I figured too. Now seems like a good time to evacuate to the backup facility. The backup facility? I wasn't aware we had one. Nor was the General. Commander, we need your men to hold the tunnels while we get everyone aboard the helicopter. Buy us as much time as you can, but don't get yourself killed. Yeah, no promises. Now the General's gone, we can't afford to lose you, too. Well, I will see what I can do, he said as he continued going through the motions. Honestly, it does feel like they've streamlined the narrative a bit. I feel like back in early access it was maybe a little chattier. And I do seem to recall the commander actually getting a few words in edgewise now and again. Which was weird, because like later in the game I don't remember him ever having any other lines in dialogue. I think it really was just like during the narrative setup. So removing it actually doesn't make a huge difference. Now we go through the combat basics. Attacking, cover, flanking, etc. Though I will say right now, if this were a real fight, the first thing I'd be doing is clearing all that cover. Either that or flashbangs, though we don't have to worry about reflex fire just yet. If anything, this tutorial actually lulls you into a bit of a false sense of security because they make it way too easy. You know, they have you take a lot of long shot pot shots, and aside from one or two, every single one of them lands, even when the odds are definitely not in your favor. So it does not set you up for the harsh reality later, once you're actually out in the field with real RNG, especially with a roster full of rookie troops. Yeah, see, here they're gonna make us miss. Because they want us to learn the basics of flanking, which is a very good lesson to know, even if it does risk overextending. And sniper. Now they're gonna teach us about clearing cover, which again I would have led with were this a real fight. Though probably not like that, honestly. That's kind of a waste. More like this. Yeah, there we go. That is something you need to do a lot of. It does take some doing. Oh yeah, look at how generous they're being with the RNG there. 2 kill shots landed at 26%. See, this is a much safer bet. Though again, at the risk of overextending, which does sometimes have consequence. Good work, Commander. The helicopter is airborne. You should be able to escape through the tunnels. Sure. Corporal, why don't you fall back? Oh no! Alex, I think. Don't worry, my friend. We'll never forget you. Alex, last name unknown. Truly, he was the finest among us. Flashbangs, smoke grenades, pretty basic staples. Shame we forgot we had those until after someone was already dead. Nice work. Once you've cleared the base, I'll transmit the coordinates for the backup facility. And thus concludeth our tutorial. Wow, yeah, they really did streamline this thing. That was barely 15 minutes. Come on, guys. Not that I'll actually ever see any of you again. That was a full squad of corporals. They're not gonna start us off with that. Ooh, this is new. Phase 1. The Shadow War. Few believe our enemies exist, yet the malign tendrils of their influence can be felt across our planet. Rising tensions between capitalist and communist nations threaten to spark a ruinous nuclear war before the invasion even begins. Ah, Commander. Good of you to finally make an appearance. Welcome to our backup facility. We should be safe here, at least for a while. No getting around the fact that we're living in a derelict nuclear bunker full of 60s-era junk, though. Hope you're fine with cold showers, cold food, and, well, cold everything. The temperature is the least of our concerns. My work suggests we have mere months before the aliens can launch a full-scale invasion. If we are to prepare, we must gather data on the alien forces scouting our planet. Of course, the cleaners are unlikely to make that easy. That's why I called this meeting. Commander, I'm formally handing over control of the organization to you. The situation has changed, and we need someone with military experience making the big decisions. I'll run day-to-day matters, like keeping us supplied and getting this place patched up. All you need to do is figure out how to win the war. Oh, is that all? Yeah. Easy. I'll get right on that. Congratulations on the promotion, Commander. One hopes you prove equal to the task. And we are officially in. We get to place our first base, which last time we set over in a point near Phoenix, I think. But this time, we'll go for something slightly different, especially since I noticed that the more land coverage we try to jam into that starting ring, the more expensive our base ends up being. All the way down to 750, though obviously we're not seriously considering anything that's going to be like 50% water. I don't know if we want to go full land coverage either, though. I mean, ideally you'd want to set up in like Egypt or Sudan, maybe. That seems to give you maximum coverage, but I think maybe we'll kind of go in between. Down here in the boot of Italy, perhaps. We're just finding our footing. We've got a lot of steps to take. And you know what? That actually works out because we have officially just been cut off from our previous support network, which some might say is tantamount to being excommunicated. Thus, I think we shall christen this base XCOM. Because excommunicated is a bit of a mouthful and, no other reason. Though of course I would eventually like to get other proper outposts set up as well. We've still got that point out towards Phoenix, or Outpost 7, District 9, a number of facilities just waiting to see some proper use. But that's for future retcon to worry about. For now, we're still setting up our foundation. Yeah, long term we're probably looking at like 6 satellite bases. Maybe 7 if we slap one down in Southern Africa. I mainly left that spot clear in case I wanted to do a District 9. Or perhaps District 10, assuming that thing ever gets off the ground. And new mechanic. The Doomsday Counter. Objective: prevent Doomsday Counter from exceeding 100. The aliens are attempting to spark a nuclear war by raising tensions between capitalist and communist nations. If they succeed, the scattered human survivors would have no hope of repelling an invasion. We must keep the Doomsday Counter under control until the invasion begins. Allowing it to exceed 100 for more than one day will result in an alien victory. Successful enemy activity on the geoscape will increase Doomsday. Duly noted. And I will note, while that does temporarily take place of the global panic mechanic, my understanding is it's only temporary. Once we pull a Watchman, so to speak, and prove to the world that there is an actual extraterrestrial threat. Oh yeah, and they've completely reset our roster, which is fine. I was expecting that. One sec, let me get these guys set up. And we're back. The raiders have been assigned their new identities, both to protect themselves and their loved ones. Though I will note, an alarming number of raiders apparently volunteered for shield duty, which classically is, the most perilous role to take, but I guess that's fine. I mean, we need them. Though I'm starting to think we might want to bring on, like, a Xenonauts counselor or something. But again, we'll worry about that a little later down the line. I'm sure it's fine. But, you know, just in case, let's maybe set up to have some extra warm bodies ready to rotate in on the off chance they're needed. We'll get some extra living quarters going, set ourselves up with a proper medical center, is what I'd say if we had enough power. There we go. And we should probably stop there, though I might do another hangar. I'll circle back on that. For now, though, let's tag in reinforcements. We've got room for 4 more, so let's go ahead and grab... Oof, not a whole lot to work with here. We'll take you, we'll take you. Yeah, you're good. You're not great, but I can... yeah, I mean... Everyone's got to start somewhere. I can live with that. Oh, actually... This guy might actually be easy to work with, so let's, Yeah. Let's temporarily drop Michael Horrell and grab Daniel Adams instead. He's very fragile, but he's got some other pretty solid stats. I mean, look, they're all going to need work. We've got to get a training center up as soon as we can, but in the meantime, you know, we've got some decent raw material. We'll have to make it work. The Cleaners. Although the unknown extraterrestrial forces scouting our planet remain the ultimate threat to humanity, their work has been assisted by a mysterious human organization known informally as the Cleaners. We know little about the Cleaners beyond the fact that they invariably appear within a few hours of suspected alien activity, forcibly taking any eyewitnesses into custody and erasing all evidence that might hint at an extraterrestrial presence. Important missions are always handled by teams of Cleaner soldiers carrying military rifles and wearing distinct green hazmat suits and rebreathers that entirely conceal their identities. More mundane work is usually handled by besuited agents with similar equipment to law enforcement personnel. As anyone that develops an interest in the Cleaners tends to disappear without trace, we previously avoided probing too deeply into their organization. In turn, the Cleaners largely left us alone. One suspects that Operations Division's monomaniacal focus on operational security made monitoring our activities far too difficult to be worthwhile. Obviously, this equation has now changed. The Cleaners are clearly devoting significant resources to eliminating us, and we must be prepared to fight them directly if we wish to learn more about our alien enemies. I hope you and your men are equal to the task, Commander. If we cannot defeat the Cleaners, humanity will stand no chance against their extraterrestrial masters. Indeed. And I have heard that apparently the Cleaners play a much more prominent role in the newly rewritten narrative. I'm curious to see exactly how that plays out. Oh, well. Looks like it still starts off with a familiar one. Atlas Base. Yeah, that was your first real mission back in early access, too. Essentially the first time they let you off the rails. And they do not pull any punches, because this is literally do or die. Failure means an early game over. Yeah, that's fine. Good luck, Raiders. And to those who are about to die. Etc., etc. Our organization was unable to destroy our encrypted command systems during the hurried evacuation of Atlas Space. We cannot risk our enemies gaining access to the valuable data within. The cleaner assault teams now appear to have departed the facility, leaving only a handful of enemy agents behind. Eliminate them so we can complete our mission. Commander, this is a critically important mission. We left a lot of important things behind when we evacuated Atlas, including several years of research data. You need to clear the facility of hostiles so we can search through it and destroy anything that might let our enemies monitor us. And recover my research data. Yeah. Look, I can't risk contacting our agents until I know our communications network is secure. The cleaners have withdrawn their assault force and sent in a team of analysts, so hopefully this won't be too hard. Oh, and if you happen to run into the General, this isn't the time for sentimentality. Understood? Yeah, we'll deal with the general threat. Alright, let's do this. Prep for breach. And I have heard that apparently they've addressed the door cheese, so let's see how this works out for us. Cover both sides best you can. Lula on left, Rook on right. The rest set on the central doors. Good enough. Hold. A lot of doors, but no directional indicators. That's something this game could really use, like in Jagged Alliance. Breach on right. Target pinged, far side corridor. Rook? No. Crawl. Advance. That's fine. Move up. Clear. Cover. Hey, nice arm. Cover clear. Sinclair. Oh. Random. You wanna... Risky play, but go for it. Oh gosh, you guys are killing me. Alright. Rook, can you do something? Not from there, you can't. How about up here? Hey, there we go. My man. All right. Breach on left. Room clear? Nope. Room not clear. Target off left. Corners clear. Time for a random act of violence. Ooh. Okay, well, hold on. That changes things a little. But not too much. Target out. Secondary still in play. Book Thief moving up. Yeah. Ugh. Not even close, my man. You gotta work on that aim. Doves on cover. Should hopefully attract the return fire. With Lula on standby, just in case he tries to push in. Oh! Right. Well, okay. That... Oh. Alright, still a good thing we had Bloody on point. Oh, boy. That could have gone better, but it could have also definitely gone worse. Let's lock these guys down. Clear cover. Nice, nice. Lula's bleeding out, so we want her next to... Yeah, we want her ending next to, Book Thief. Lovely. Hug cover. Yes. Corridor clear. And Lula. Let's get that patched. Wait. Wait. Over here? Why is it still 30? What is going on here? Oh, there we go. That was weird. It was like it was trying to round up to the nearest 5. But rotating a single space should have just been 1 extra AP, not a full 5. As for Squad 2, let's have you guys fall back. We'll have you clear right. So just set back up on this door here. Hold. Target pinged. Shield's eaten 2 shots now. How we doing? Not great, but still technically intact. Push. Nice. Might have more around the corners, though. Fall back, rotate, set. With random on your 6. Breach on right. Target pinged. And target out. Thank you, Rook. Secondary off left. Doorway leading further in, probably. Joins up with the other. Let's push in. Krull's shield is still at max, so we should be good. We'll hug the railing here. Flashbang? Not sure we can reasonably land that, though. That's... yeah. I mean, we'll give it a shot. Hey, okay. Nicely done, Bo. With Sinclair on backup. Whiffed. And Rook, just start moving in. Back on left, random... no. Let's get Book Thief and Lula on left here. They'll circle round. You know, the main thing we want to make sure is that we don't have someone on our back. If there is anyone in there, we'll catch them in a pincer. Target pinged on approach. Whew. 2 shots into Krull's shield. How we doing? Okay, better than bloody. Moving in. Target out. Lovely. Bow on approach. Ooh. Close, close. Amartya? Hey, there we go. Yeah, it was kind of hit or missile, but we made it work. Come on, Rook. Try and keep up. Gotta get you some more cardio, my man. Bump up that TU. Pushing left. Storage. Clear. Repositioning on door. While we have Bloody and Random hold in the hall here. But let's hug the corner. Yeah, that's good. That way they have to come all the way around to see us. And hold. Door. Oh, that might have been one of the doors closing behind us. I think they do that automatically now. Hold on right. I would like to go for a cap, if we get the chance. It just hasn't been super practical yet. We are very limited in that capacity at this point in time. We basically only have nightsticks and smoke grenades, which isn't ideal, but can theoretically work under very specific circumstances. But it will definitely require luck. Yeah, and that's definitely the doors closing behind us. Breach on right. Pushing in. Hallway clear-ish. And that's definitely our command door. I remember that from early access. Storage off right. Clear. Resetting on door. Come on, guys. Now you. Let's get you guys properly set. Might possibly have someone in that one little gap off left, or in the room dead ahead. So we want to set with that assumption. Also, there's definitely guys off right, but I don't think they'll emerge. I don't think they wander. Hold. 2 targets pinged. 1 tagged. Nice. Oh, but shit. Full on exchange in command hallway. Random tagged. Return fire. In fact, you know what? This might be a good time to go for a cap. Risky, but clear cover. In fact, get both. Not entirely what I was going for, but that works. Oh, come on, man. Okay. Crawl on approach. Target out. Random, bud. Come on, man. You got this. You've got this. Nice, nice. Yeah, you know, sometimes situations call for nuance and subtlety, and sometimes you just gotta be blunt. All way clear. Hold on door. Squad 1 on approach. Barracks. Barracks clear. And pushing in. We'll group back up on door, get random patched. And then wrap this up. We've got one agent capped, so we don't have to worry about any others. I mean, we'll snag him if we get the chance, but honestly, at this point, I think our main priority is just trying to see if we can bag and tag the general alive. Could try smoking him out, but I'm not a huge fan of that approach. You know, open door, huck in smoke, back off and wait to see if they pass out from inhalation. Too unreliable. Hard to predict. Especially in a larger chamber. I mean, I guess it does come down to how big the room is. I guess we'll see momentarily. If we can theoretically fill the whole room, then maybe. But I'm gonna go ahead and say probably not. Right. Let's take command. You. I recognize you. All of you. Why don't I remember anything about you? It doesn't matter. I will not allow you to interfere. 3 targets pinged, including VIP. Flashbang out. No! Dang it. Okay, who was that? Krull? I think we just lost. No, that was Bloody. Target out. Bow winged. Going for 2. Target winged. And out. Thank you, book. Alright, okay. Let's be very careful here. If we actually want to take this guy alive, we have to, we have to cross some I's and dot some T's. We flubbed the first flashbang, but we might... Do we have another on tap? Pistol's pretty low power, but this will be a lot easier if we can keep him relatively contained. Target suppressed. Bloody on... No, Bloody's locked. Krull on approach, which actually works out better because he's got a slightly sturdier shield. Gotta make sure we turn off reflex fire. Cross those eyes. But, you know, just in case things do go awry, we'll position to kill if need be. Could smoke? No, that's not realistic. It would be more likely to hinder us than actually help us in this scenario. Also, I just realized Bo is bleeding. We should probably get that patched. Moving in. Oh, snap. Crawl shield out. Fall back, bud. Good job, though. You did exactly what we needed you to. Also, let's patch Arrow before we push to Cap. Just working out the order we have to do this in to avoid everyone tripping over each other. Random moves in first so he doesn't get blocked. Though I guess I could have had someone else open the door. Bloody just gets out of the way. Book Thief keeps him locked. Nice. Amartya patches Arrow. And here we go. Fingers crossed. Oh, perfect. Solid hit. Decent follow-up. Random. And that will do it. Nicely done, Raiders. A bit nerve-wracking, but, you know, not bad. Not bad at all. That's a pretty solid start. No one even died. Arrow and Lou, both out of commission, but they at least get some Crimson Hearts for their trouble. For those who are unfamiliar, each medal earned is a solid +1 bump on all stats. So that which does not kill them literally does make them stronger, at least once. Though it is a shame to see that caps still don't count towards, kills. It really feels like they should. Operations. Strategic operations and supporter recruitment are now available. The destruction of Atlas Space Command Room allows Operations Division to deploy covert agents to assist with our objectives. Our organization receives +8 operation points per day, which can be spent on conducting various kinds of strategic operations, for instant benefits, or on recruiting supporters to unlock permanent bonuses. Operations points can also be spent to eliminate alien infiltrators, which will reduce the daily Doomsday counter progress. Right, and you know, while we've got it paused, I'll go over the basics here real quick. These are the supporters. There are 4 randomized ones for each region. Dollar symbol obviously increases funding. I increases operation point gain rate. Microscope is research boost. This one is security. I believe that reduces the rate of Doomsday gain, and then later panic. And then this, of course, is workshop speed. Increases the speed of project completion. You'll also notice there's green and red dots on some of these. The green ones are characters that are easier for us to access, thus cost less to recruit, while the red is the opposite. Those are ones that have higher security and are harder to access. And then the stars. The stars represent the elite supporters, the ones who are about twice as effective as their peers. More expensive, but also well worth the effort to recruit. Sadly, in our case, we didn't really get a great mix here. Yeah, we've only got one easy access elite, and that's for the thing we need the least. So I think ideally... You know what? I'm not sure. Maybe the elite ops. I'll have to give that some thought. Let's get our guys back. Loot banked, research unlocked. We've got waveform analysis, combat vehicles, and general interrogation, which I think we will lead with. Yeah, we'll do that one first before we get lost in the plot. And autopsies are automatic now? Yes, okay. Autopsy. Cleaner agent. While it was previously unclear what role the smartly dressed agents observed supporting cleaner operations played within their organization, the autopsy process has revealed a great deal. There is little question that these cleaner agents are entirely human. Several of the bodies were easy to identify from personal effects and medical records, and all have been confirmed as employees of government intelligence agencies. Operations Division was able to obtain their personnel files. I see nothing to indicate that these individuals had been acting strangely or held unusual beliefs. It appears they are simply employees of intelligence agencies subverted by the cleaners. Sadly, this probably reflects the dubious legality of our organization. Governments are either deliberately suppressing knowledge of alien activity, or have been infiltrated by hostile forces intent on doing so, leaving us no choice but to operate beyond the law. Until this changes, we will likely continue to clash with those who unwittingly do the bidding of the extraterrestrial invaders. Yet we cannot change course. The very survival of our species may rest on our success. Thankfully, cleaner agents are not particularly fearsome opponents. Lacking formal military training and equipped with only light weapons, they are notably less capable than one of our own soldiers. I don't know about that, Doc. Have you seen our stats? Ooh, nice. Interrogation. Cleaner agent. There is little doubt our captive cleaner agent is fully human, Commander. Troublingly, there is also no evidence to suggest they are under any form of alien control. Interrogation of the subject suggests he remains unaware of the ongoing extraterrestrial invasion, instead appearing to believe our organization represents a powerful crime syndicate, illegally manufacturing drugs and trafficking weapons. Sharing evidence of alien activity proved more effective than coercion, eventually resulting in the bewildered prisoner agreeing to cooperate with our questions. This allowed us to verify the identity of our captive and extract valuable information about their recent activities. It appears the cleaners have subverted several important law enforcement agencies, allowing the creation of false investigations into their opponents, including us. Many of the cleaner agents we face are just ordinary men and women, all wholly unaware they serve the interests of the invaders. This brings us back to our captive. As there seems no obvious reason to conduct a dissection, we have chosen to move him to our cells. We can consider releasing him once his knowledge no longer poses a threat to our organization. Plus 35 operation points. Not much, but we will absolutely take it. That might actually push us high enough to immediately grab that elite ops. Plus 2 operations points per day would add up over time. Let's have a quick peek. Oh wait, no, that's the normal one, but we can definitely afford it. How about the actual elite? Oof, 250. Which we're actually not hugely off on. Especially if we get more points for taking the general alive. Though that is yet to be seen. That's another 5 days out, during which time we'll naturally make 40 more points. So either way, within a week, we could definitely grab this, and then essentially have plus 2 op points per day for the rest of the campaign. Though after that, we definitely want to focus on the ones we get an actual discount on. But, one thing at a time. Nice work, guys. Arrow, get some R&R. In fact, why don't you all hit the shower for a bit whilst I take care of the usual post-op logistics. Which I suppose brings us to a good place to call it. Yeah, we're about an hour in. Feels like a good place to pause. We'll hit the pause button for now. I will take care of the usual off-screen bookkeeping, and we will pick up here next time. Off to a good start. Hopefully we can keep that rolling for at least a little while longer. Hope for the best, plan for the worst. Speaking of which, for those who'd like to toss their names in the hat, just let me know in the comments down below. Can't guarantee you'll get in, but, you know, at least you'll have a chance. Especially if this does end up turning into a bloodbath. I guess we'll see. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Arrow Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Rowan Church, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.